See how we go. Anyone coming for the first time here? Anyone come for the first time? You all have been here before? Yeah. Okay. So I was in Papua New Guinea and I met the Hare Krishna devotees in probably early 90s. In 90s I met the Hare Krishna devotees. And before that, when I used to live in Mumbai, the harekrishnatemple was about 10-15 minutes from my place. But we used to go there as children, never had any idea of what it involves. But then when we came to Papua New Guinea, we met the devotees, and obviously you come to Brisbane, the first place to go is the Hare Krishna temple. Coming from an Indian background, it didn't seem so strange. But many times we see when we come to a place where we don't know what's happening, we don't know, when we offer praise to Tulsi Maharani, we don't know the wordings. For me, I was always thinking, okay, if I don't know something, I feel very excited. Most people, if they don't know something, they feel nervous. I feel very excited that I have to learn this thing. So I started, taking interest in learning like that. And then a stage came when, we said, okay, now we know, let's share it. So here we are, for many, many years. We all have been given this duty by Srila Prabhupada that we have made our life perfect now. We have not made my life perfect as yet, but can we share the fortune what we have here? So we sing, who's the Pujari today? Okay. Maybe we can tell her that, okay, Mataji. So after the class, maybe even it might go a little late, then we'll do the announcements, and then you can go to the punch. Okay? Thank you. So, we'll get back. Okay. Make them ready. Yeah. So we'll sing Jai Radha Madhav. Do all of you know the wordings of Jai Radha Madhav? Okay, so I'll just speak, and then you can know the wordings, and then you can follow after that. Jai Radha Madhav, Jai Kunja Bihari, Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Girivardhari, Yashoda Nandana, Vrajajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari. So this is a nice bhajan, very short bhajan, describing Lord Krishna's wonderful Leela in Vrindavan. So when we start pravachan, when we start our pravachan, when we sing this bhajan, our heart gets purified. Even sometimes we don't know, but the wordings, the purity of the bhajan has effect on our hearts. And then we are ready to accept the message what is given in the class. So, that's all. Clear with that now? Okay, please, thank you. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, 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 Gopi Vallabha Girivardhari, Gopi Vallabha Girivardhari, Gopi Vallabha Girivardhari, Jaya Gopi Vallabha Girivardhari, Yashodanandana Vrajajanandana, Yashodanandana Vrajajanandana, Yashodanandana Vrajajanandana, Yashodanandana Vrajajanandana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Just think of someone very dear to you, multiply the love zillions of times, and then sing this bhajan, yeah? Jaya Gopi
Namaste Saraswati Devi Bhagavani Chakane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So again, thank you for coming for this Saturday feast. It's a long weekend.
holidays are there. We could be doing many things, but we are here. Obviously, Krishna has intervened in our lives. So we'll start the talk. We always start with Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yes, sir. So this is a famous Chinese saying. It says, if you do not change our direction, we will head to where we were going. So it's not rocket science, something very simple. So we can see we have been living a life which is, in our own way. We study, then probably we migrate, we get our visa, look for a job, look for a house. Do all those things in a very typical material way. But then what does this say? That if we don't change our direction, we'll be heading to where we are going. And intervention is a word where we need to really think deeper as to which way we are going. Am I just going to be living a life of just... our scriptures actually describe very nicely what the animals do and what the humans do. Does anyone know what the difference between an animal and a human? Is that any? Not one.
We can think.
Animals can also think.
Krishna Bhakti.
Okay, yes, that's easy to say, Krishna Bhakti. Yes, that's a good answer.
Consciousness.
Consciousness, of course, there's a big difference in level of consciousness. What else?
They can change how they act.
They can change how they act? In what way?
Like how animals always continue breeding, hunting. The human can change their entire lifestyle.
Yeah, so humans can change, not the animals. Yeah, okay, sorry, I thought the other way around. Okay, yes. Yes, Julie.
We know wrong from right, but animal doesn't.
Animals don't know. Actually, animals know more wrong from right than humans do. There's a story where if you leave a bag of grains which is little torn and it open, right? Birds will come and they'll take only what they can eat and fly away. Monkeys or some animals will come and just take a handful. And what will the man do? Even though we know it's not correct, but still we will do what we're doing. Two differences. Of course, consciousness, someone said consciousness is a difference. Animals cannot laugh. Generally, animals cannot laugh. And humans can laugh. They can express their happiness a little way. Dogs can do, sometimes cats do. But animals cannot laugh. The other one is spirituality. Animals don't have spirituality, but humans have spirituality. Now when we are all here, there is some faith in all of us. Would you agree? Some faith is there? What do you think? Some faith is there? You're here. Now faith, we might think, is opposed to knowledge. Okay, I've got faith, I come here, pay my obeisances and go away. But no. Faith actually is the foundation of knowledge. Please hear very carefully. Faith is the foundation of knowledge. Why? Because when you have faith, when you come here, and that's why Prabhupada's this movement is an amazing movement. We always call this is not a temple, this is a place where we get spiritual education. We get spiritual education of who we are. So far we've been not even thinking, who am I? What am I going to do with my life? What is the purpose of my life? Why good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people? These are the questions we hardly ever ask. But then when we understand, we come to Prabhupada's movement and we start asking these questions, and then we know what is right from wrong. So what happens? Who intervenes in our life? Many times we think, okay, why, I have spirituality within myself. Do I need a guru? What do you think?
Yes.
Do you need a guru? Okay, why do you need a guru?
So that they channelize our energy to the right direction.
Okay, they channelize our energy to the right direction, okay. What else?
Guidance.
Guidance, very good, yes. They actually guide us. Guidance is a very important thing. So when we come here, it's not that, okay, we just hear and then go away. After sometimes we ask questions. Yeah. One of our very wonderful devotees, he left his body a few years ago. He was the temple president of the manor in England. And he used to say, a devotee, or a guru knows the way, a devotee goes the way, and a devotee shows the way. Yeah? So devotee knows the way. Someone who's been in the movement for some time, they know, okay, what is right, what is wrong, what's to be done, what's not to be done. Next week we are having a Vaishnava primary ticket where devotees who have been coming here regularly can attend and see, learn, okay, why do we do certain things, why don't we do certain things? What is the basic principles of cleanliness? What is the basic principle of respect for each other? How do we deal with tricky situations? So these things are going to be discussed next week. So a devotee knows the way. Of course, they have the knowledge because we always quote scriptures. We read from scriptures. A devotee goes the way. Goes the way means he himself is practicing. Right? Otherwise, what will happen is I will tell you to do something, but I won't do it myself. Yeah. So achar has to be there. The acharan has to be there. I have to practice myself. So devotee knows the way, a devotee goes the way. And then a devotee shows the way. So here, this is a place where when the direction is given, not to just see outside everything, but just to go see within what's happening us. Yeah? And then we change the direction. All of us have been living the same life, educate, migrate, populate maybe, get house, and then continue life like that. But when we come into contact with a devotee, they make us think and they actually guide us in such a way that we have to change our direction. I don't know whether some of you have experienced this. When you are coming on the same road, coming home maybe for example, you work in Kenmore, right? And you live in the city. And then the evening when you go back, maybe even the traffic is against you, but there will be some traffic. If the GPS tells you, don't take your normal route, what will you do? Sorry?
We take the same route.
Take the same route? What happens then?
Traffic, yeah.
You get stuck in the traffic. So GPS is telling you not to take the same route. So devotee is similarly telling you, don't take the same route. Even though you've been driving and you've been walking the same route for many, many lifetimes probably. But the devotee, when he meets you, he intervenes in your life and he says, don't take the same route. So this is what a devotee does. Okay, Prabhu, next one. Can someone read this, please?
To intervene generally and action take to improve disorder.
Yes, an action taken to improve disorder. So how many of us think that our lives has got some disorder in it? One, okay, maybe one only, okay, a few of us. Yes, lives are in disorder because we are living always in hope of happiness. There's hardly any happiness because we are trying to connect with the outside, external. No, we have to look within. Krishna says that, I am sitting in your heart. Connect with me, and that's why when we chant Hare Krishna, that's the best way to connect with the Lord. In the Kali Yuga, there's nothing else to be done. Just chant Hare Krishna, because as one of our authorities, spiritual teachers, Haridas Thakur, he says, only two things in this world, and he uses the phrase called supramundane. Supramundane, what does mundane mean? Something of this world, right? And supramundane means something which is not of this world. So he said there are only two things which are not in this world. One is us as Jiva, the soul. The soul as Jiva is not of this world. We do not belong here. And the second thing is the holy name. The holy name doesn't belong here. Golokira Premadhana Harinam Sankirtana. So the holy name is not, doesn't belong here. So when we as Jiva, who are not of this world, try to connect with everything which is of this world and find happiness, is going to frustrate us. So this is the disorder we're talking about that we have in our lives. How many of you want to look as how to improve on that and transform our lives? Yeah? Okay. So devotee or a guru intervenes in our lives. So you can see Prabhupada is kneeling in front of His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his spiritual master, and he's changed his life completely. So in the scriptures, it's described that when we meet a devotee, transformation happens in our lives. Now, today we're going to speak about transformation by intervention. Devotee intervenes. But before that, we'll speak about a few other transformation. So first one is transformation by instruction. First one is by instruction. Yeah? So when instruction is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, right in the beginning, when I'm also going to tell you some stories where they're given the scriptures. Now, if you don't know anything about the story, raise your hand, and I'll spend a couple of minutes just explaining you the story, because it's important that you know what I'm speaking about. So Bhagavatam starts with there are sages, the saints who gather together before Kali Yuga, and they are worried about people in Burbank and surrounding areas, in Brisbane surrounding areas, in Kali Yuga. Everyone they are worried about, and they are performing a 1,000 years yajna, so that they can find some means to make people in Kali Yuga happy. And then appears one wonderful sage called Sutta Goswami, and they are asking, the sages of Naimisharanya are asking questions, and Sutta Goswami is instructing them. So this is transformation by instruction. When you hear some instruction, give me an example of one instruction which you have heard and you have changed your life. Anyone? Any instruction you've heard and changed your life?
Instruction by the master.
Any instruction we are speaking about three gurus, right? One is the Vartma Pradasha Guru. When you meet someone for the first time and they tell you, please read Bhagavad Gita, that's an instruction. Maybe not in an authoritative manner, in a friendly manner, but still it's an instruction. Anyone?
Yeah, I was in Melbourne, and at the same time, one of my known friends, so he used to go ISKCON temple, Melbourne. So they introduced me with the ISKCON, and then I started going ISKCON and started doing 4 japs a day.
Okay.
Then encouraged myself, then 8, then turned 16.
Okay.
But after that I stopped, I don't know.
Okay.
So there was the instruction at some stage.
Yes, but you should continue that.
I should have, yeah.
I'm not giving you instruction, please. So, transformation by instruction. So here we can see the Sutta Goswami is giving instruction to sages of Naimisharanya and is transforming their lives. Next is transformation by increment. Just give your example. We chanted 4 rounds, then 8 rounds, then 16 rounds like that. Transformation by increment. In the scriptures, we've got the story of Narad Muni speaking to the hunter, Megrari. So, Megrari was a hunter. What he used to do? Does anyone know?
Deer?
Sorry?
Was it hunting deer?
Yes, but in what way?
To torture them. Yeah, to torture.
Yes. He will not kill them. He will actually half kill them and torture the animals. Right? So imagine to bring such a person from that level to the level of pure devotee. Can you do it overnight? Even Narad Muni, he thought, no. If I give him instructions, everything together, he won't listen. So he transformed his life by increment. So first one is instruction, second one is increment. You can start slowly. Today after the class, we're going to chant one round together here. And you can take the beads home if you don't have. And then start chanting 1 round, 2 rounds, 4 rounds. Increase slowly, increase number of rounds. It's not difficult. When we give our time to Krishna, Krishna mysteriously expands the time we have within the same 24 hours. So transformation by increment. So these are the devotees intervening in people's lives, right? So Narad Muni intervened in Mriga's life, and by increment, he changed his life. Next is transformation by intensity. Yeah? Whose example can we give? Intensely the devotee was praying. And again Narad Muni was intervening. Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, for any other yogi it would have taken years and years and lifetimes. For Dhruva Maharaj, he was a 5-year-old boy. Very interesting story. Dhruva was ridiculed by his stepmother. And his own mother told him to go to the jungle and look for Lord Vishnu. And then in between he meets Narad Muni. Now Prabhupada writes very nicely, he says, how does Narad Muni know that Dhruva is going to come here? So very nicely in the purport, Prabhupada says that Narad Muni is what we call Trikala Jnani. He knows exactly what's happening, going to happen where, and that's why he appears wherever he is required. So Narad Muni is Trikala Jnani. And then he instructs Dhruva. He says, don't worry Dhruva, you have to tolerate happiness and distress equally. You don't have to worry, you are a young boy. Why are you going through all these things? And what does Dhruva say? Did he listen to Narad Muni? No? Yeah, he didn't listen to Narad Muni. But then Narad Muni advised him, okay, fine, go ahead and follow this process. And then he gave him the process, and Dhruva, intensity, so transformation by intensity. Narad Muni intervened in Dhruva's life and changed his life by intervening, and Dhruva practiced spiritual life intensely. We might not have that capacity of changing our life intensely, but we can do it in increment. We can do it following instructions. We can do so many things. Then we can transform our life by what we call issue. Issue means various challenges we have in our life. The other day I was asking a question to Devyanand Prabhu. Said in Australia our lives are so like routine. We have made it so clinical that there's no intrigue left at all. How many of you agree with that? Only if you lose a job, then you think, I've lost my job. That's the biggest problem you can have here in Australia. Otherwise, most people live a very clinical life. So here, example is given in scriptures of King Chitraketu. Chitraketu's life, he was a king, his life was a roller coaster. He was happy in every way. And then he's, many wives, wonderful kingdom. And then what he didn't have? Children. He had everything but no children. And then, what happened when the child was born? Yes. So both Narad Muni and Angira Muni told him that your son will be a reason for Harsha Shoka. What is the meaning of Harsha? To be happy, like Harsha here. And what is the meaning of Shoka? Yes. So he was imagine, a child is born, he's the joy, the source of all the joy we have. But Narad Muni said, no, he'll be a source of your Harsha Shoka. So his life was higher here, then was lower, then he got a son, then went higher again, and then again the son was killed. Yeah? And then what happens? Yes, we roller coaster, they just go up and down, up and down. And then he says, no, I cannot do it, you have to make my son alive. Right? So then what happens? The sages bring his son back. And then his son, what does he do? It's very intriguing. What does the son do? He says, who are you? He says, I'm your father. He says, which life you're talking about? He's already gone and come back. Which life you're talking about? So then Chitraketu realizes, actually, yeah, he's not my son. Because he's already gone, in this life and he's come back. So, his life was like a roller coaster. Then of course, he is flying on a plane, is cursed by Mother Parvati, then it becomes Vritrasura. So, his life. So, Krishna gives instruction, the devotees intervenes and give instruction through issues. We have issues in our life. How many of us don't have issues in our life? See, none of us have issues because I live a very clinical life here. Very clinical life here. And that's why many times, devotees who visit internationally, they say it is very difficult to spread this movement here in Australia. Because everyone is very materially satisfied. Unless we have, Kunti Maharani prays. What's the prayer? Jan Maishwarya Shruti Shivir, Yadamana Madapaman, Nevarati Abhidhatam Vai, Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. Kunti Maharani prays to Krishna that we are all having wonderful facilities here. Nice education, nice houses, nice, body, everything is there. Why would Krishna come to us? Because Krishna, he is Akinchana. He is from Akinchana Gocharam. He is Akinchana means he is one who will be pleased by someone who's materially exhausted, because only when we are materially exhausted will we actually sincerely pray to Krishna. Otherwise, when you have everything, what does Kabir say? Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. Yeah? So why would we think of Krishna? We got everything here. No, but if you understand that the instructions are given, the devotees are intervening, we are here in the temple today. Let us make the best use of this situation. Then the intervention happens by impossibility. Something you find impossible, and we see that from Kunti Maharani's life. Kunti Maharani, she understood because she went through so much of trouble. So much difficulties were showered on Kunti Maharani that she knew that enjoying material life is impossible. Even we can see here sometimes. We sometimes think that I have a great material life here, but it is not the happiness we have compared to what happiness is in devotional service is just nothing. Is actually compared to the happiness of material life is compared to water in a calf's hoof print compared to the ocean of spiritual happiness. So when you have these impossibilities in our life, like Kunti Maharani, then we can understand, yes, let the devotees intervene, let Krishna intervene. And she's actually asking for, what does Kunti Maharani ask for from Krishna?
More problems.
For difficulties, for calamities. Vipada santu tat satvat tatra tatra jagat guru. He says, yes, give me vipada, give me all the difficulties, so that by going through the difficulties, I will think of you, Krishna. Right? And when I think of you, Krishna, then there is no repeated birth and death. No repeated birth and death. And then there's one more, the last one is intervention through interaction. Intervention through interaction. So this is again the story of Narad Muni, who is known to be the world famous family breaker. He breaks the families. So Daksha Prajapati, the story goes, Daksha Prajapati, when he had, he was supposed to create Praja. So he creates children, and Narad Muni goes and he converts them into brahmacharis. He said, don't worry about your father. He will tell you to, make more progenies, but don't do that, just become brahmachari. So Narad Muni is instructing one by one. And then, of course, at the end, Daksha Prajapati also gets frustrated and he curses Narad Muni. And what is that curse? Yes. You cannot stay at one place more than 3-4 days. And Prabhupada used to say that because we are also followers of Narad Muni, as devotees, Prabhupada used to travel every 3-4 days, and our devotees also, we can see them traveling every 3-4 days. So this way the devotees intervene in our lives. You can see in scriptures also so many devotees have intervened in people's lives. Next slide, Prabhu. So here you can see Krishna is intervening in Arjuna's life. Arjun, he's willing to leave the battlefield. He said, okay, Krishna, I don't want to fight this battle. I can see all my friends and relatives and teachers and uncles here. And I'm going to go and beg in the forest. What does Krishna say? No. Then he gives the whole knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna intervenes in Arjuna's life. And this way, you can see when we also study Bhagavad Gita together, we can understand. Actually, no. Even though I think my life is going great, but if I add a little Krishna consciousness, I think it will be much, much better. And that's how, when we actually connect with Krishna in the form of the holy name, we can understand that yes, true happiness lies in us connecting with the holy name, and that is the true spirituality. So as we say, Krishna, the devotees knows the way, the devotees goes the way, the devotee shows the way. So they actually can clarify our understanding of the reality. So when we come together like this, today is very nice because it's a very small crowd. Otherwise, generally the room is full, and we sometimes feel lost also. So what happens is that when devotees come, they know the way, of course, and they go the way. They are not just what we call armchair speculators, where I'm telling you something you do, but I don't do that. Devotees actually go through. The other day we were speaking about in our house that the intensity of our anxiety, is inversely proportional to the surrender to the Lord. So the more we surrender, the less our anxiety is. Would you agree? The intensity of anxiety is inversely proportional to our surrender to the Lord. How many of you agree? Yes? For devotees, it's the other way around. Because if you're not anxious to serve the Lord, if you're not anxious to spread this message of the Lord, then, where are we surrendered? So for devotees, the other way around. And more anxiety we want. We want more anxiety. What am I going to do tomorrow to spread this? What am I going to do tomorrow to touch someone's heart? Tomorrow actually, we are having a book table at Lockery Showgrounds. And, we're starting at 3 o'clock? 4 o'clock. So we'll take the books, we'll go there, set up the tables, and distribute books. Even one Bhagavad Gita goes, our life is successful. Someone has touched a Bhagavad Gita, someone has bought a Bhagavad Gita. So this way, the devotees are always anxious to spread this message and make our life successful and make the others' life successful. So this way, Krishna, he is also intervening in our lives. The devotees intervene in our lives. The simplest way to not only just come here, but to think, where am I going to go? What was the first slide we saw? That if you don't change your direction, we'll head to where we were going. We want to do that. No, we want to think, okay, is there anything I can do? So I want to recommend today that yes, we have some time, we can chant one round together. When we chant in unison together, it will take about 12 minutes, 15 minutes. This way, we can start our spiritual life. And of course, there are many devotees who have been chanting for many, many years, many, many decades. But it's nice also to come together and chant like that. Anyone who has never chanted on beach before? So everyone has chanted on beach before? You have chanted on beach before? Yes? Everyone? Okay. So let's anyway do it. You got the bags also, bro? Maybe bring the bags if you can. phone number we have. I don't have my calculator. And you can take it home. This is a gift from us. Hare Krishna. Long time. You okay? You've been traveling. You've been traveling. You've been traveling. Please have a seat. We're going to chant one round together. I'll also need one. So we keep the bead inside the bag. And is everyone ready? Okay? So we chant with these two fingers. The first finger is out. Okay, is everyone ready? Yes? No?
Yes. No. Waiting. I need the bead.
One bead is required. Arjun Prabhu? One bead is required here. So we start with the first bead, but before that we recite our mantra for the entrance in the worship of the holy the divine couple. And we can chant in unison. That will be nice. It will create nice energy. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare. Now also one thing, when we start chanting on one beat, then we move like this, after one mantra, and then it will come at the end. We don't go over it, we just turn around and, if you're chanting the second round. But today we're going to do only one round. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna.
Thank you very much for chanting. I could see everyone was chanting very, very sincerely. So thank you for that. Anyone wants to share some reflection on chanting? Or anyone who's chanted for the first time, or in group, or anyone who wanted the round to be finished quickly? It happens sometimes. Yeah.
One thing I've experienced, when you chant in a group, I think you feel better.
The energy is very different. It's just, you can call it Sankirtan. Anyone wants to share something? How did you feel the mind was going everywhere? We chant loudly. The rule is that we chant loud enough so that we can hear and soft enough so that we don't disturb the others. In a group environment, generally we chant in the house, in this space here. But when we chant in the temple, when we are in a group, then you chant softly so that you don't disturb others. And we chant loudly so that even when the mind is going everywhere, many, many places, we bring the mind back to the sound vibration. This is a simple way of connecting with the Lord. And somehow or the other, whether you like it or not, the devotees, especially Prabhupada, has intervened in your life already. And that's why you are here. And now, let's understand that this intervention is to bring in order the disorder we have in our life. So we can connect, we can take this chanting bit home. Every morning we can start with 1 round, and then we have chanted for say 1 month, then we can chant 2 rounds, 4 rounds like that. Or devotees chant 16 rounds every day. Or devotees who are Brahman initiated chant the Gayatris also. They read, they take care of the families, they do business, job, everything happens automatically. But the advantage is that everything else material, as Prabhupada used to say, these are zeros. And if you have 1 in the form of Krishna in the front, then it will be 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, whatever it is. But if you keep Krishna at the last and all the zeros first, then the number just remains 1. So if you give priority to our chanting every day, to associate with devotees, to let the devotees intervene in our lives, then we can see that there is wonderful positive change happening, and slowly the progress will happen and will connect with the reality of this material world. Any questions or comments before I make the announcements? No, you all have understood everything what I said? Thank you. Tonight's feast was booked by Vrajalakshmi. Omika Mataji helped very much. She was there from the beginning. Thank you, Mataji. It was wonderful. Vishwanath Prabhu, as usual, is our stalwart. So he was there also. And next week we are having 2 to 5, the Vaishnava etiquette course, where if you want to learn about the basics of the spiritual life, the Hare Krishna way, you're welcome. And then we'll continue with the Saturday feast. So 2 to 5 is the workshop, and then we'll continue with the Saturday feast. So everyone is welcome. 18th, of course, we are having a wonderful festival of Diwali and Golden Puja on Saturday, 18th from 5 o'clock. And some sponsorship opportunities taken up, but some are still left. So you can contact Chamatagni Prabhu, Rasamani Prabhu, Gauraprem, or myself, and we can work that out. And when are we having the India group meeting? Have you decided? No? Next week?
I'm not sure if we have announced yet, but I think this is next week, 11th.
Okay. So if devotees are not very tired after the workshop and the Saturday feast, the devotees who are going to India with us, we can have a little meeting to make sure that we are on the same page before we leave. Prabhupada ki Jai. So we rise for the evening aarti.
His Grace Sakhi Prabhu ki Jai.
Prabhupada ki Jai. Last time,